What's going on, good people? Back at it again. Another week in the books, man. Book 2, chapter 42. Getting right back in it. I just want to, before we get started, I want to shout out our guy Mo. I know I shouted him out a week or two ago just because he has been, once again, helping us with the production side of things, putting the music back in the episodes, shoot them back over. He sends them back. Just been a huge value and much appreciated for somebody who has a ton of other things going on to take some time. I know we mentioned this last week, but I don't want it to go unsaid. You can't give enough compliments, in my opinion. One ain't always all of that. So I want to make sure we say it again because as I listen to the episodes, they do give that nostalgic book one feel. As you guys all know, if you've been following us for book 2, we've been trying to find our own imprint and trying to figure out what's what. But to have something, as I said last week, book 1 was my favorite podcast. And to have kind of some of that feel, it kind of gives that renewed spirit. On top of the conversation, I think Spike Lee and myself had a really good conversation. I got some great feedback on that. I'm your host, Rich, man. We're here at chapter 42 of book 2. Your host, Rich, joined by the legend Spike Lee. We got a special guest, but before we do, Spike Lee, how you feeling?
I'm good, my brother. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well.
Absolutely.
Running around tired. Shout out to our guy Q. I was talking to Q yesterday in the DMs, and he was saying, y'all got to get back on it. You and Spike bullshitting. And I was like, hold on, man. Like, I done been to this. Hold on. I said, hold on. This is week 3 for me. 6 days a week. I ain't missed a day yet. I said, so I've been on it. I've been on it doing my 50 push-ups a day in the gym every day. 6 days a week. I rest on Sundays, eating clean. I think that's the most important thing. When I started on September 1st, I weighed myself. I was 245. And I weighed myself on Monday. I was 238. So
nice.
240s ain't never gonna see me again. I know that for sure. I'm still, pushing and grinding, man. So
I got 2 exercise classes next week. They give free classes at the gym that I'm a member of now. So I got 2 set up for next week.
Like all that shit better be free as much as that shit is. That ain't no hoe, man. But shout out to Q, man. But real shit.
Yeah, shout out to Q here, Giants fan.
Big
L for them over
it's
weekend.
Chicago, which is wild. But y'all did get that dub. I know he's smiling somewhere. But also on top of that, just the accountability, man. Like we always look at it as we say we want to be held accountable, but when it happens, it's easy to be like, man, what? But nah,
he sent me a dope ass DM about that. What this dude was saying about accountability. Did he send it to you? I have to forward it. Did I send it to you?
Yes, he did.
He sent it to me.
He sent it to me.
Appreciate that.
About discipline, talking about the dude. Discipline, yeah. Absolutely. Man. So shout out to Q, man. Q been holding it down, man, and doing everything that we say. Those are the things you have to do when you comes to your brothers and the people you say you care about. It's not just a good time. It's about holding them accountable too. When you see them, hey man, you can do better than this. It ain't gotta be nothing bad. It ain't gotta be that somebody slipping. You can do better than this. And sometimes that's all that's needed to be said. So I appreciate somebody like Q that's really on top of it. You ain't send that video, that push-up video, Q, but it's all good. We'll talk about it another time. But either way, we here with a special guest.
You like Dame it's a classic every time this gets on, like Dame on a breakfast game, man.
Don't do that.
Nah, man. We part three with my brother Isaiah. We still Isaiah, right? No school.
Hey, I'm whoever, man. I think I'm Skool, man. I'm back, man. This a new version. It's a new version.
Nah, this nigga got the
Skool
fresh twist too. Yeah, he got the fresh twist and shit too. So he really
come on, man.
Like you can't tell him nothing. But nah, man, my brother Skool's back in the building, man. If you remember chapter 2, and I cannot remember the second chapter you were part of when it comes to book 2. He also made one appearance in book 1 as well. We got Skool back, man, and I think everybody remembers if you've been down with us that probably still our best episode to date in regard to talking about your addiction and your battle through it, and just kind of the revelations that you found and the process through it. And before we get into why you're here today, I do want to read a couple comments from the listeners, the viewers. Shout out to all the bookworms. We appreciate y'all. Please remember to like, subscribe, share. One thing that we got is from our guy Public Enemy B. He wrote a comment on our last on YouTube on our last episode. This continues to be one of the best podcasts out there. Genuine conversations that are needed. That segment about Spike feeling vulnerable enough to ask for help with some real talk. Absolutely. Shout out to you, Public Enemy B, man. We appreciate you for everything you do.
Definitely.
I think your name's Chuck. I think it's Chuck, if I'm not mistaken, because I follow him on all platforms. Yeah. He's always showing love, man. It's always good to get feedback on those things. And then we got a DM from I believe he's pronounced his name Najee. So Najee Chandler, man, he sent a DM. I didn't ask him if I could read it. There's nothing personal in there, but at the same time, it's one of those things. I just like to make sure. But he just gave us some love and told us about how much of a fan he is. And he found us through Dead End, obviously through Spike Lee, once again, the legend. Yeah. And he asked us to just keep creating these dope conversations, man, these dope discussions. They help him a lot, especially with where he is in life. And I sent him a message back, man. I want to talk to him a little bit more and get some feedback, about where he is actually in life and what he's picking up from it. But just to get that kind of feedback, even if it's from one person, that's what keeps things going.
Shout out to his basketball. It looks like he has a nonprofit or a basketball organization, VOL Basketball.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's the founder of that. So if y'all are near, it says New Jersey, support that in any way you can as he supports us. So I want to give VOL a shout out. It looks like it's, again, a basketball program. They had some partnerships with Kevin Durant, shoe that came out, and just different things that, as far as hooping. So if you're a hooper near New Jersey, you can support this man, help this man business. Make sure you do so.
Yeah, man. It's funny because he looks like he works in sports. He's a senior designer. Unfortunately, he works for, well, I ain't gonna put out where he works for.
Man.
But it's in his profile, but just in case it's public information, but I ain't gonna say it. But he works for a rival of my squad.
I already know.
Football team. He's also worked for some other sports teams as well, throughout college, throughout MLB, and the whole nine. So yeah, it looks like I definitely want to have Najee on and talk to him a little bit, just to get some more information, man. I think that'd be dope, especially with nonprofit, giving back to kids. I coach youth sports for a long time, so I know what it's like to kind of pour yourself into that, and that really makes an impact to still, kids in high school now, when I had them in 5th, 6th grade, or, freshman, sophomore in college, still see me and call me coach. And that just goes a long way, man. I can't say enough what that means. So shout out to Najee, man, for giving back, putting it to the community, and doing dope things. But with that being said,
let me ask you two Cincinnati brothers something first, though, before we get into it.
It's about Joe. Go ahead.
Who is Joe? Oh, Joe Burrow? Oh, no.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna talk
Okay. I know you about to talk about AB.
Hey, one of y'all fellow Cincinnatiites, if that's what y'all call
Cincinnatians.
Okay.
Yeah. That nigga said
y'all fellow Cincinnati. he was on It Is What It Is with Cameron and Mace, AB. And it looked like he was drunk. We keeping it a stat. But he was making Stat feel uncomfortable by making advances at her. Cameron gets tired of it. Eventually didn't tell him, all right, look, bro, you got to leave. I fuck with you. I pay you for your time. You got to leave. What I found interesting was people were giving Cameron shit because other clips leaked out of him kind of talking shit once Adrian Brown had left the room. Called him an alkie, a junkie. And people are like, oh, you ain't say that while he was in there. You ain't say that while he was in there. Why you say it while he was in there? And I found it interesting that people were saying that, like, I'm sure Cam not scared of him, even though AB probably pieced him up. But it wasn't no need for him to say that while he was in there. Like, what y'all think about how Cam handled the situation? Two, what y'all think about how people responded to it?
You got it, Skool. Go ahead.
Me personally, I think that it's so much easier to say what you would do in certain situations. Like, that's it's very easy just to be like, Cam a sucker, or you ain't say it to his face. I would have, like, personally, I think Cam handled it very well. He did everything in his power to make that go smoothly. Yo, her boyfriend's here, like, that's still my sister. Like, he did everything in his power, and give him props for pulling out the bag and paying that man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could have been like, yo, I can't pay you. I'm gonna get this money to Stat. Sue me. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been something much larger than what it was. And far as, like, the whole me being a former addict, that just comes with the territory. Like, you know, it depends on where AB is in his life, and it doesn't seem he's where I am. So, you know, if he gets very defensive of that, then we'll know where he at. You know, denial is a bad motherfucker. So I haven't seen him respond, so I can't really speak on, you know, him and, you know, what I've seen from him. But he's definitely on the dark side.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's well documented in Cincinnati that AB does have some drinking issues.
He got a lot of issues.
Yeah, well documented. That's not, if you're from Cincinnati, and you outside a little bit, that's not a surprise or anything like that. Definitely don't want to see it, but also just know that's something that he's battling. I think the way Cam handled it, you got to control the room. You got to be able to control the room, man. You can't let a guest come in. You will never let a guest come in your house and take over your house. I just kind of what it is. I think he gave fair warning about Stat, and you saw what type of time he was on. Like, it's one thing to make a comment and then you get right back to it, but that wasn't going to stop. So Cam did the right thing, I think, by shutting it down. As far as the leak footage goes, I took that as just Cam venting. Like, I'm here to do business. We invited you on here to do business. I was excited for the conversation. Now you on bullshit. Who knows what AB might have been saying on his way out that might have triggered a response. Maybe he was talking some shit that, man, get the fuck out. You never know. I don't think he said anything wrong. And I don't, to your point, Spike, I don't know if he had to. Like, what's going to be, we talk all about productive conversations all the time on this podcast. What's going to be productive about me telling you, get your junky ass up out of here? Nothing. Like, black man to black man, I respect you, and it looks like they have a personal relationship of some sort.
Seem like
maybe not friends. I wouldn't say they friends, but they know each other well enough to where I can take this money. I do think it might have been a little performative to pull out the bag and pay him, because that's something you can handle off camera.
Yeah. I think he was genuinely.
But also, it's very Cam.
I mean, it's Cam though. Yeah, it's Cam.
That's
a Cam thing to do. If it was somebody else, it would have been performative. But I think it was a genuine, like, disgust that Cam had. It wasn't, that part wasn't performative in my opinion. That was like, nigga, I can't believe you up here doing this bullshit. Nigga, you're a grown ass man. And then you trying to, I'm recording still, and you trying to get my attention on the side and shit. Like, nigga, get out of here. That's so. I think it was genuine frustration out of Cam in the sense of, like, bro, I was really doing you a solid. We don't need you up here. So I just wanted to know what your brothers thought of.
Yeah, I think that's
like, why AB up here?
Yeah, why are you talking?
I also think that's I think that's the New York anyway. Like, if AB would have walked out and Cam wouldn't have said anything, I think that would have been more crazy. Like, damn, Cam that ain't like Cam. Like,
I was talking to another nigga from Cincinnati. He said that's normal Cincinnati nigga behavior.
Nah, hell nah.
Well, AB, nah, there's a lot of Cincinnati niggas like AB. School know him. School know a bunch of Cincinnati niggas like that. I know him not just school. I do too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's
hey, you see, you put that shit on me, ASAP.
I do too, though. Because you know what I'm saying? You know,
we got a cousin like, never mind.
That's funny.
Listen, it is what it is. So yeah, that's not out of the realm. If you in Cincinnati, not Cincinnati proper, not like the burbs, but actual in the city, in the hood, like, you were gonna see Cincinnati niggas like that, and it just is what it is. You know, not everybody went to college and did all this other shit. Some niggas just out here still in the trenches. Good people, but they are who they are, and that's just kind of what it is. So I think it's interesting. But yeah, man. Once again, I don't even know why he was on there, but shout out to AB, man. Hopefully he gets the help that he needs on some real shit, because I don't want to see him go out bad like that. But he's been doing that for a while. And it's got to be difficult to, like, be on top of the world and then just lose it. I couldn't imagine being at the highest heights and then being down there later. You know, so we'll see what happens. With him, man. Getting back to school. Speaking of Cincinnati, man. Go talk about Skool. Also, once again, true Cincinnati, my brother, and why we have them on. So I had this idea, because we've kind of been chronicling Skool's journey through this. And the first one was just about the admittance part and just kind of going through everything, talking about addiction. Still can't tell you enough, Skool, how many people that helped and how that resonated with so many people in regards to that episode and the honesty and the vulnerability. Second time you were on was more of a progress report. It was more of an update how things have been going, and then that was mostly from your point of view. And this episode was, I believe, it's my point of view. You know, healing in real time, because the one thing that we haven't discussed, and Spike Lee, obviously, please feel free to ask whatever you want during the conversation if you have any clarity questions. But the one thing we haven't discussed is the pain that comes with being on the other side of addiction, not being the person who was, addicted, but the loved one, and wanting to see someone really pull through and get through it, and being hurt. Like, there were some things school did that hurt me, and not knowing how to process that properly, and not knowing really how to communicate with school, and not knowing if they was going to get back. And I kind of want to break all that stuff down and talk about it, because I see school in a beautiful place, and I'm extremely proud of them. And I can't say that enough, because I see it with my own two eyes. I've seen what went from words to actual actions to now it's a habit. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to say you're gonna do something, then you actually do it, and when people start doing it, it's like, all right, then let's see if you keep this up. It's like, nah, man, this man is genuinely, he believes everything that he's been taking in, as far as the program, as far as therapy, as far as just the daily lessons to be a better person, and continuously fight his addiction day by day. And I wanted to give you props, because I know it's not easy. And if I'm being all the way honest, which is what we do here, I wasn't 100% sure how, I don't want to say if, because I know it's tricky, but how, at what point this would happen. I could have never figured it out. So, first and foremost, how do you feel right now? And how long, how I don't know if you do it by days, months, how many days sober are you, how many months, whatever the case may be, and how do you feel?
So I have a year, 4 months, 10 days. I feel great, man. Like, words can't express how grateful I am.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for grace. That was the lesson this past Friday at Celebrate Recovery, was grace. And man, when I sit back and think about the grace that I was given, not only from God, but from my family, from my brother, from my sister, from the wife, especially. It's just been a hell of a journey. I'm still learning, still going about certain things and aspects of my day. But there's some things that I'm just set in, like that won't change ever. This is who I am. I know that. But again, like I said, it's stuff I'm still learning. So for sure.
What do you set in that won't change forever? If you don't mind sharing?
The things that I'm set in is definitely recovery, for one. There's nothing, in NA, they have a NA is Narcotics Anonymous. They have a no matter what club. It's like it's still NA, but it's kind of like a little secret society type thing. Like, no matter what club, no matter what happens, no matter who dies, no matter what, like, I'm not going back. And it's something that people, it's not like a real meeting or anything. It's just something that people say. And I'm definitely in that club. There is nothing that I've come across, that can make me go back. Another one is just being productive, reading books, or in my case, listening to books, trying to give back. That's a big part of recovery is giving back. And that's been something that I'm trying to do, trying to be a better man of my word, give when I can, whether it be, hey, here's $20, bro, go get some lunch, like just little stuff, just give it back, man.
You said that to me?
Huh?
You said that to me? I need lunch tomorrow. Nah.
Hey, listen. You know what I'm saying. We went to the movies the other day. I said, I got you. Let's go.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah,
man. You did.
Like in Old Zay, that would have been easily. I ain't even. You don't even know I got money, nigga. Like, it's going to what I'm going to. So,
nah, I'm about to say Jose wouldn't even went to the movies. Depending on the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So
But
a
but that
lot
was
of that,
dope just to do it.
yeah, yeah.
That was dope just to do it, man. So trying to figure out where to start this. As I mentioned before, I just think it's important for those of you who might know someone, a loved one, a friend. Um, I just want to give my perspective on what I saw and what I'm seeing today and where we are. And I think it's just a good conversation. And we see the title Healing in Real Time because there's been a lot of healing that's going on and a lot of conversations between Skool and myself that were difficult and filled with emotion. And
Yeah.
the emotions range from anger to sadness to just being hurt to understanding to forgiveness to moving forward and everything else in between, going all the way back to when I first found out he had, was struggling with addiction to where we are now. And it's been a roller coaster of a process. And I just want to kind of give some context to it because, Schools talked about it the first time he went into rehab. And he talks about the No Matter What Club. And I can say I truly believe him. I truly believe him. I didn't believe him that first time. And we talked about why, because when he was ready to get out, he was asking me if I could get him, a quarter some weed or something like that. So I knew he wasn't there. And School's already talked about how you have to be
Yeah.
ready, right?
Yeah.
So, and even then, I don't even know if I truly grasped what it was
Yeah.
and how serious it was. Um, and then the second time happened, which we talked about. Now that's kind of the time where we'll pick up because, like I said, just getting it all the way out there. One of the things that I had an issue with and I was upset about when I say School hurt me was, and I don't want to just put this all on. I think another big part of this is my understanding, right? So that's if I look back outside of School and where he is right now, or Isaiah, my bad, whichever School, Isaiah, same person. Outside
Yeah.
of School and where he is right now, the second biggest revelation I've had over this past, um, a little bit over a year, 16 months, 18 months, whatever the case may be, is how I've grown and how I've been able to understand and kind of been open to, okay, this is what he's going through. Let me look at it from a different lens because it's easy to be upset and angry. I think we grew up, and Spike, I'm sure you can attest to this. We grew up in that era, obviously the 80s and Reaganomics and the crack era and them putting, drugs in our neighborhoods. I think a lot of us were raised that the junkie, the crackhead, you don't want to be the crackhead with it. We look down on that as a community. Like you don't want to be those guys. Those guys are the losers. Those are this and that and the third. And School, you said something profound, I think, on chapter 2 when you said, man, everybody got a story. And we didn't, as a community, I don't think we never gave that story an opportunity to be told. We
Yeah.
just knew what it was. The School and myself, I had an uncle who struggled with addiction. And you kind of look at him almost, there was always love. There was always
Oh
love
yeah.
within the family. Like, so it was never that. He was never shunned. But it was always like, he got this going on. And as a kid, you don't understand what that means. You don't process it. And you've seen it. And initially when everything went down, it was like, bro, he School bullshit. And I think what takes the dynamics even further is we had business together. We had work together as far as the podcast.
Yeah.
And this is somebody who I started Culture Garden with. And I felt like, and there have been many times where I was like, damn, man, School just kind of said, fuck it, and turned his back on it. And then it turned into like, nah, he's really trying to get better, help himself. And when he went in that second time, we had a conversation about School needed a favor. He needed something from me because I was moving to Cleveland. And long story short, he wanted to stay in my apartment because the apartment I was leaving. And the conundrum was, hey, I got to put in these 30 days. Like I'm about to move. I got to put in these 30 days. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pay for another month of rent. Are you sure this is something that you want to do? And he was like, yeah, I'm sure. Because I'm in School to tell you, I'm one of those people like, shout out to Tony Soprano. Don't say you're sure if you're not sure. Because you can easily tell me that you ain't sure and I can move how I need to move. But obviously with School being a little bro, wanted to do whatever I could to help him. I said, I bet this is what it is. And I think I was angry because I knew kind of what was going on. And I still decided to go ahead and agree to it when I really should have just been like, nah, bro, go home. Like, shout out to Goodfellas, man, you got to go home. Like, you got to go home. You got to, be with your family and all that. But I was like, nah, school needs the space. He needs the space. We're going to let that shit shake. And before everything went down, you were back in rehab. And you went back in rehab without telling me. It was just one of those things where ironically, I found out through Mo. I found out through Mo. Mo texted me about something like, hey, man, just praying for you and the fam. And I'm just, Mo that type of dude anyway. Mo would send you a random Thursday afternoon, I'm praying for you and the family text.
Yeah.
So it wasn't nothing. So it wasn't nothing that I was like alarmed by when he said it. And then later on, it found out because he was supposed to record an episode of School's Guilty Pleasures, which is now Who the Fuck to Ask You podcast. Shout out to you, School, and shout out to Rio. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. But it ended up turning into, hey, we were supposed to record, but School sent me this message, and I'm like, damn. So there's a lot of hurt and things. As time going on, I realized what that was about, and just kind of facing, not being ready to face that. You know what I mean? I think with his and our relationships and how close we are, I can understand how that wasn't something that he was ready to go ahead and move forward with. But if you take that, you take the podcast, you take these other things, there was just a lot of anger built up. And I'll never forget, and I want you to get your opinion as this goes on and what you were thinking, School. I'll never forget when you got out of rehab. I'd never been so upset at you because, and there's two times where this happened. I really want to talk about the second one because I think the second time is when everything really, it really made me look at myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And it really helped our relationship tenfold. Like, I think it unlocked a whole new level of trust and security. But the first time was School just kind of flippantly was on the phone with me like nothing happened. What's going on, boy? You good? And I'm just like, bruh, like, nah, like I'm holding the bag for some bread or something in this area. Like, you just upped and dipped, didn't tell me, and you on the phone just on some like everything good. You ain't trying to explain yourself. Wasn't no my bad, no nothing. It was just like, yeah, how you been, man? You good? Like, nigga, fuck you. What you talking about? Am I good? And I don't know if you remember that conversation, School, when I was just like, hey, bro, we got a lot to talk about before we can just get back to some jolly shit.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts during that time? And this is when you fresh out and just kind of reaching out just on some, hey, what's up?
Yeah. So it really wasn't. So my thinking was, like you said, I left in April. I hadn't reached out to you. I hadn't let you know anything. There's a reason why I didn't call you when I was in the rehab, because I already felt that shame. Shame and guilt is a motherfucker. Especially in recovery. Like, that is something you're going to feel. Like, and if you don't feel it, you're not doing it right. So I felt a lot of guilt, shame, for not even reaching out to you. And then what made it worse is I came home around my birthday. So that was even worse, because I'm like, damn, this nigga gonna think I'm calling him just because it's my birthday. Like, I've been gone this long. Now I gotta call on my birthday. This nigga gonna be like, and the nigga called me on my birthday. Like, so I just went for it. I'm like, fuck it. Like, deep down, I know he's angry, but this is still my brother. Like, he at least gonna answer. Like,
yeah, for sure.
What kind of response did you expect?
Not the one I got.
But what, you obviously had thought about it, right? Because you was thinking it's your birthday when you called. So, and you didn't.
Hold on, real quick, Spike. I just to put the timeline out there. How long could this happen? Like, what? Because this is April to what? When did you said June? So 2 months. So we hadn't spoken.
So I came home.
And I only want to say that because the first time School was in rehab, me and School spoke often. School would call me, and we would talk often. And this time there was nothing. So go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt.
So I left April 24th or 25th, and I came home June 12th, 13th, something like that. And my birthday is June 9th. So it wasn't just my birthday. Matter of fact, that Sunday, and I came home like that Wednesday or whatever. So it was like 13th, 14th. But I spent my 35th birthday in a rehab. Like,
so you came home on Sunday. You said
Monday. I want to say Monday.
Came home on Monday.
So like 11, 12, somewhere in there.
You called Rich on the same day?
Probably. Probably.
Called him the day you got out. But you hadn't talked to him for about 3 months.
About 2.
About 2 months.
About 2 months.
And over that 2-month period, I'm sure it played out in your head as to how this phone call would maybe go.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen, there's many times that I went to the phone in rehab to call my brother and decided not to. Like, I'm talking about 513 such and such, such and such, and then I just like, nah, I can't do it. Like,
and it was shame and guilt that kept you from doing it then, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Because
then,
like he said, I knew I left him holding the bag, and he didn't even tell this part of the story, but I will. Like, one of the worst parts about this shit was the day that I lost my job. Like, I literally just got fired, and I was getting in my car to leave, and he called me to confirm that I was moving in. And I played it, yeah, nigga, you know, I'm like, I'm still that the addict in me is still making moves. Like, well, shit, if you do this, or you can, you know what I mean? Like,
so
but
you
I
couldn't
knew
keep it.
I knew, like, I'm sitting there like, well, shit, maybe
it was because you were using that you still were like, you felt like you couldn't keep it real with Rich and be like, man, I just lost my job, bro. I can't do that.
Yeah, and I think me and Rich, when we did finally have our conversation, I think we spoke on it. One of the hardest things when you in the situation that I was in, especially with Rich, is like I'm portraying to be someone that I'm not. And the second that he really sees who I am, that will terrify me. Like, and
how he'd view you.
Yes,
that
that's
would
how I
terrify
felt.
you.
That's how I felt.
Right.
Unbeknownst to me, he had already seen it though, because I was losing jobs. You know, I'd get a job, and these were great paying jobs. These ain't no bullshit jobs I'm getting. And I'm getting them and I'm losing them, or
for dumb shit. That was the concerning part.
Yeah,
like school. What the fuck? I never questioned him about what the fuck you got going on, bro.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, because I do want to explore that too, but going back to your expectations of the phone call, when you finally did decide to call him, you knew you hadn't talked to him in 2 months. You know what type of dude Rich is. You dial that phone number and you finally make the full complete dial, not just halfway, not hang up the phone. You call him. What are your expectations?
I think it should be said that I'm 36. I've only seen Rich angry a handful of times, and I would say he's only been angry at me. This is probably the most in our 36 years is the past.
No, not what you got. What did you think you was gonna get?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying
you thought he was gonna be pissed off.
I didn't know. I don't even know a pissed off Rich. Like, so I don't know what I was expecting far as like, okay, maybe he's upset, but I'll still get some love. And then, hey, bro, you know, we got to talk, whatever. And I think I just, especially being fresh out of recovery, I didn't know how to address it. So my first instinct was just to try to be myself.
Like who we usually are.
Like, what up, nigga? What's good? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but knowing what I know now, I would have done that way differently. You know what I'm saying?
I want to ask you about that, but I do got a question for you, Rich. When you see that number pop up after 2 months, what's going through your head?
That's my brother, so I'm gonna pick up. And first and always, and this is something I always told School, like your well-being and how you're doing is always most important, right? Regardless of how I feel. There's been moments where him and I had disagreements just on like some podcast shit, like really back and forth. And I always told him, I remember one in particular, I can't even remember what it was about, but I remember we got into it and he was supposed to go to the game with me, the Bengals game on Sunday. And after we finished, like literally right after that conversation, you still going to the game on Sunday. Just so I can make sure it was clear to him that regardless of this other shit, we can disagree, we can have our little back and forth, but that doesn't change the fact of our relationship and that you my brother. I never want anything to get in the way of that. So as that phone rings, I knew it was going to come at some point. I know School wasn't just going.
You knew he was
not
in
talk
rehab.
to me. Yeah, I knew he was in rehab for sure because his wife told me. His wife
so
told
you
me,
don't get
right?
a phone call for 2 months. The number pop up.
Mhm.
Asshole Rich. What's the first thing that you did? What pops in your head?
A, is my nigga okay? Like, are you okay? Like, just want to kind of get an idea of how things are. And then it immediately goes to, let me hear what he has to say, because in this first, after we finish the are you okay, in the first 20 to 30 seconds, I need to hear an apology. Right? Now, let me make sure I say this to be clear. One of the best things, real quick, one of the best things about going through this with school is that I had to put a mirror up to myself as well. You know what I mean? And it gives you more empathy and understanding. So when school talks about shame and guilt, school knows this because he was the only person that knew. When I went to jail, when I had them 10 days in jail, I didn't tell my peoples because I was ashamed and there was some guilt there. I told school. Like, you know what I mean? So I look at it as far as like, I know what it's like to not want to look at somebody you love and you care for and tell them this news that you know is going to disappoint them. That's just difficult. Is it the right thing to do is just do it? But I also can understand the hesitation. I can understand picking up that call, that phone, and then hanging up mid dial because you know what, I'm not ready for this because I've been there myself. So I didn't care about that at the moment, but every single call, especially early on, as me and school were rebuilding this, every single call, every single time I get angry, I would end that call and I would have some deep reflective moments. And I would like to think school would agree because I would always hit up like maybe the next day and in a more calm tone, apologize and say, all right, let's talk through this. And like I said, there's one example in particular that we'll get to. But that was pretty much it. I wanted him to acknowledge. It's more so about just addressing and acknowledging, like, bro, you got me fucked up out here. And not you got me fucked up emotionally, but you really left me in a bad situation when you didn't have to. When I asked you, school just said you. I told him that day he lost his job, and I literally called him right after. Like, bro, you still want to do this? He could have said no, and I'd have been like, all right, cool. There's been plenty of times that's happened. It ain't no thing. But now that you told me this, I feel like you purposely played me. And that's what I have an issue with. And the fact that you're trying to joke and laugh and pick up where we left off and not acknowledge the fact that I'm X amount of dollars that I owe people that I ain't even living here. I'm doing this, and this. Like, don't just, it was almost like that kid. You know, we got some shit to address, bro. Like, don't get on my phone on this play shit, knowing we got shit to talk about.
Facts.
So that's great context. If you had to put the emotion into one word to simplify for people listening, and for me, would you say it was anger? Was it relief? Were you happy? Was it intrigue? Like, what would you say your first thought was when that number popped up? Like, how would you clarify that emotion?
The first thought was relief. Like,
okay,
my nigga home, we good.
Got it. Okay.
It wasn't until we started talking and I'm sitting there like, hold on, like, you really not about to bring none of this shit up. That's when it turned into anger.
I think that's really important in the sense of the relationship that you guys have, because as an observer, when explaining everything that you explained and you saying you seen that number pop up after 2 months and relief was the first thing that popped, it shows you really love him.
Absolutely.
Like, you fucked me over. You left me here with this. You going through this situation and I can feel a way about it. However, I'm relieved that you're calling me and that we're resuming our conversations. We can work back to what we were. So that's why I was trying to get that one word answer. So yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, relief, 100%. And it wasn't, like I said, until that I realized this was not going to be addressed that I felt anger. Because I'm like, school and myself, it's not just a one-way street. We've done way too much for each other. Like, we've always been there for each other. Right. And the best friends, brothers, however you want to word it, I just felt like he knows me well enough to know that that's something I'm looking for. Just an acknowledgement, hey, bro, my bad. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to say, oh, yeah, it's all good. I'm going to I need to get it out, but at least wanted the acknowledgement. And it never happened. And that's what really kind of set me off. But it wasn't don't call my phone until you're ready to apologize type shit. It was more so disappointment. Like, damn, I'm really sorry that not only did you bounce, not only did you not tell me. Another big part of it was, and I told Skool this, like, bro, like, Mo found out that you was going to rehab before I did, bro. Like other people found out. But once again, not a big deal at this point because that goes into the shame and guilt. That makes perfect sense, right? You wouldn't tell. The same way I just talked about, I ain't tell my peoples. I told Skool first. Same thing, but sometimes it's just hard to face that one person. And this is something I would get on Skool about. Like, Skool, bro, like, stop putting me, for lack of better terms, I'm not going to say put me on a pedestal, but stop thinking about my opinion to the point where you can't just be all the way real with me, that you can't correct me. Like, when I'm wrong, you know what I mean? I've always wanted that from him because I've always looked at Skool and respected him as a man and wanted to make sure that he knew that he had the latitude to, hey, bro, I'm not always right. Because we've always had, obviously, respect there. I'm not going to say I was little bro in Skool, but Skool has always revered me as big bro. Even when I asked him not to, like, he's always revered me as big bro. And this goes back from children. So I understand his stance, but I also wanted to make sure he understood that I view you as a man, bro. You got a family. You got things that I've never even accomplished. Like, you're raising a child, like children. Like, you know what I mean? You're in a marriage. Those are things that I think are some of the manliest and most difficult things and most accomplished things that you can do. And I've never done it. And I don't think, and to Skool's credit, I don't think Skool ever looked at himself like that and looked at the things that he was doing that I didn't do, and vice versa. So I always respected him. I wanted to make sure he knew that. So yeah.
How much of that, Rich, do you think was ego on your part? In the sense of, here's this man that's going through something. I love him. It's my brother. He's always looked at me as like a big bro, as you said. How much, if any, do you feel like it was ego for you to expect him fresh out of rehab to be ready to address the wrongs that he had done to you? Like it sounds like it was, nigga, I'm me. How could you do this to me?
Because when you look at it on the surface level, like, the conversation really should have been like, how did things go for you? Like, we'll get to me. How are you doing? That's what the conversation should have been. I talked about that relief of just getting the phone call, knowing he was out, knowing he was good. Because mind you, this is round 2. So my first thoughts are, let's make sure you stay out. Like, I want to make sure that you're good and you stay out. And then
this ain't even round 2. This round 3. So
is this round 3? Okay.
Yeah. So that's something that, you know, I'm not necessarily trying to defend Rich, but it's almost in the same level as my wife. Like, now, think about how many times I promised her. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, when I came home in June, she didn't want me in this house. Like, bro, there were so many rules to being in my home, bro. Like, so
give me an example of a rule.
Huh?
Give me an example of one of the rules.
I had to piss in the cup weekly.
For your wife?
Yes, absolutely.
Damn.
Absolutely. And not to mention, I'm pissing in the cup for the program too. Like,
that's love.
Yeah, like,
you're doing this. I'm trying to keep my family together. I'm gonna do whatever.
Like, it's a lot that goes into that. Like, so I can't even blame him for feeling a certain way. He only dealt with that shit for the past 2-3 years. She's dealt with it for 10. You feel me? So,
do your wife drink or smoke at all? If you don't mind me asking.
She does not smoke, but she does partake a little bit. Like, your boy, get a little taste.
Does she mind doing it around you?
I let her. I've never really been a drinker, so that shit doesn't even bother me.
It don't even entice you.
Yeah, it don't really entice me. So, I'm cool on that. But again, like, I don't want Rich to feel any type of way for even feeling that way, because you got to figure, like, he doesn't even know. Like, he doesn't know how I'm thinking as far as just like everything that I just learned in rehab. Like, you know, they're teaching me not to jump into certain things yet. You know what I mean? But that's where I should have came to him and said that, but I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, that probably should have been something I said in my convo and my shit. Like, you know, I know we got a lot to address, but during this course, like, I don't want to address it yet. For one, I'm not ready. Because I don't want to say the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. So I don't want him to ever feel like, you know, if he was hot as fuck, like, that's fine. You should be. Shit, you know, I fucked up.
I think that's one of the hardest battles as men. We've talked about this, Rich. You want the people that you love and that you feel comfortable around. You want things to be normal. You want them to be the way that you always wanted, that they always have been. Like you want your brothers to be your brothers, but you also want them to understand when they like, bro, you looking funny out here. And you want to be able to have that conversation with them and it still be normal. And I think a lot of men struggle with, I need to address this with you. And then we can go right back to it is what it is, but I got to address this with you.
Yeah.
I think we get hung up a lot of times as men, especially black men, on the address part because we feel like the address part, it gotta be aggressive. It gotta be like masculine, like Dane was talking about with Charlemagne. It gotta be this thing as to where I ain't necessarily trying to son you, but the language that I'm finna use and the tone that I might take right now, it could be confused with some shit that we associate with violence or a problem with a nigga, but I'm doing it out of love.
Yeah.
And I think being able to relate a message in a way, or even receive the message in a way from someone, knowing that the tone may be off, knowing that the wording might be what you like, but still understanding it, like, bro, this is coming from a place of love because I know you, or I thought I knew the person that you presented to me, and that person was a person who I felt like I could get a bag with, we could be successful together with, and I don't see that person no more, and we got to address that. But I think men a lot of times feel like if they don't address that, it ain't going to be normal no more.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right.
That you're trying to have, Rich.
Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% right. And understanding that one of the biggest things for me, the biggest turnarounds, is acknowledging that I had a lot of anger. Like I said, there was a conversation me and Skool had where I told him, bro, I don't even know if I knew I was that angry until we started getting into it. Something that happened that just triggered me. And that's when it all came out. And that's probably, I was more angry then than I was that first convo. That's when I was really angry. And we had, I was at work, bro. And we might have been going back and forth on texts and voice notes and all types of shit. And I just felt
something you can share that happened, or you want to?
You said what?
Is it something you can share?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into it. But before I do, I'm doing this kind of in chronological order. So we get there, like we get to school's out and just trying to get things eased back into normal. And like I said, just get a better understanding and ask some questions and going from there. Because remember, my whole mindset is my dog gonna stay out? Like, and I felt it right away that there was a difference, but you still have to see it. And one of the things that was going to be tricky. So let me preface this by saying Skool and myself, our relationship, I've always tried to be mindful of the way I just mentioned it earlier about like big broing or whatever the case is. So when it comes to our relationship and everything else, there was times where I reflected back on how I spoke to him, not in a disrespectful manner, not at all, because I don't do that, but more so just in sometimes simple advice can sound different. It can sound like nitpicking, right? So we record together, right? There were notes and things that I would have for school. And I'm sure from his perspective, I never asked him directly, but I'm sure it would be like, bro, shut the fuck up. Like, leave me alone. Like, let me do my thing. And that's one of the things I've learned as far as like, give people space to be them and kind of let them grow and stumble. Cause, I talked a little bit about how I can be a perfectionist in some areas. So that's one thing I try to take a step back from and like, you know what, let me figure this out. But I quickly realized, I remember we had a conversation where I pulled up on him. I was in Cincinnati and I pulled up on him. We were sitting in my car in his driveway and we were talking about the pod because at first when the tool got out, he obviously needed time to focus on his family, himself. He wasn't really thinking about recording. And I told him, don't even worry about that shit, bro. Like, we're gonna hold it down. You take care of what you need to. You got a lot going on. You got to regain your wife's trust, everything else. So that's cool. And once things started getting better, he was ready to start recording. I was in such a rhythm with Rachel, and like the podcast had kind of turned into like our thing that it was like, all right, then, well, I don't know if we can build our relationship Like, I don't know if me and Skool can build our personal relationship and still record. It's too much overlap. There's going to be too much. There's going to be something that I might get bothered by on the recording side that's going to spill over into the personal side, and that's not healthy. So I felt like the best thing to do was to keep the two separate. Right? I encouraged Skool to do his own thing. Like, he had Skool's Guilty Pleasures, which he rebranded, like I said. But I encouraged him, like, just kind of do your own thing, and we'll have you in for guest spots and kind of ease you back in. But I don't want to be upset by something that happens in recording and let it spill over here, right? And which was one of probably the best decision that I think we made in that regard, because once again, I don't even know there's anger at this point until this time comes up, and I'll get to it, Spike. So Skool, Rachel and myself did for Culture Guard, we did Cadillac Records, which is a movie that Skool loves, right? So imagine a nigga who loves movies, who has a movie podcast. I don't want to say suspended because he wasn't suspended, but kind of like taking a step back to work on his own shit and not really being involved in the day-to-day conversation of what's what. Like, I'm not reaching out to Skool and saying, hey, we're doing this week. It's just more so Skool finding out with everybody else because he's taking care of other more important things. We do Cadillac Records, which is, I know, a movie that he loves, and I woke up that morning to a text from Skool. And when I tell you that shit sent me through the roof, like, it just started my day. There's nothing. That's why when people talk about starting their day with good energy and protecting their space and peace and energy, I understand that because I woke up to this message. I'm still in bed reading this text message, and my day was just shot from there. So pretty much the summarized version is Skool felt a way that we did Cadillac Records, and he let it be known that he felt a way, and he thought it was messed up. Because he knew I knew that he loved that movie, and that he wanted to be involved in it whenever we did it. Because I would try to take movies that I knew Skool loved and put them on the back burner. Like, so you gotta think about that. Even though Skool wasn't recording with us, I still didn't want to do movies that Skool loved. Right? There's certain conversations that I say like Skool got to be a part of this. Like, he got to be here for this. And some conversations with like Skool just gonna miss out. Just is what it is.
Yep.
You making that face, Mike? What's up?
Finish. I got a question. I don't want to interrupt you though.
Okay. So Skool sends that message, and it's a paragraph, and it's pretty much a disappointment that we did Cadillac Records without him. He fell away. Like, damn, bro. Like, I think he even alluded like, damn, if I'm off the pod, just tell me I'm off the pod. Like, if I'm not a part of Culture Guard no more, just tell me that. Like, because now I feel all the way blackballed and outcast and the whole nine. And like I said, I'm waking up to this 7-something in the morning, and that shit sent me through the roof. Mainly because how dare you feel that after all the time we've been holding you down, how dare you feel like you can dictate what we talk about? Nigga, I'll do 10 movies that you love, nigga, and don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we've shown you a lot of grace in this period, and here you are feeling away. And it ended up turning into voice notes. And Skool, of course, being in recovery and going through the steps. This is another thing. It's almost like you and your boy did crime together. Me and Skool never did, but it's almost like you and your boy doing criminal activity together, and then one day he becomes a pastor. He becomes super religious. And now when he talks to you, he's talking to you from a religious scope. And you look at it like, hey, nigga, you go to church. I don't. You get what I'm saying? So you in the program, Skool, I'm not. So you keep telling me these steps because Skool communicated, and this is what he's learned. He's communicated like, hey, bro, like, I don't really want to talk about this right now. And I heard him, but I don't give a fuck. You don't have to talk. I told him that. I said, you don't have to talk, but I'm getting this shit off. I'm getting this shit off, bro. I'm letting everything. I'm voice note after voice note, message after message, and we going back and forth. He's trying to end it. I'm like, nah, bro. And I told him that directly. I said, just because you follow the steps don't mean I do, bro. Don't put that shit on me. Like, don't say some shit that's gonna trigger me and tell me I can't respond to you because you're not in the room to go back and forth. Fuck that. And we went back and forth, heated. It was a heated one. It's probably the most heated conversation Skool and myself ever had.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until that next day where I could kind of take a breath and look at everything and kind of like, all right, let me try to really understand and break all of this down because I don't want this to be the common thing. And I think the main thing that came from that was like, yo, dog, you angry. And Skool said to him, I'm not an angry person. I'm just not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that. Like, so I had so much anger built up that I was surprised by. I didn't even know it was there. And it all came out on one swoop. And it all came out in that moment. And it's like Skool felt he was entitled to something. And I'm looking at it as, here's what I've done for you since you've been gone. So let it all out and shit. And once that anger was out, once it was released, I was actually able to stop and look at myself and kind of realize what I did wrong and realize how we can have a conversation to be productive. And things have been 100%. It took a 180 from there. Like, we've been in a great space since that.
That's an interesting.
Go ahead, Spike.
That's an interesting story that leads to the question that I got for Skool. You're out. You're obviously trying to work on things that are most important to you.
Yeah.
Family, your wife, your kids, making sure that you remain sober. So you see Cadillac, similar question to Rich, you see Cadillac Records pop up on a podcast that you're a part of. You know that's one of your favorite movies. And you feel what?
I was just so a little context. The way it happened is actually my little sister texted me because that's one of those ones that me and her love, and she texted me because I think the pod comes out at like 6 a.m. So she texted me at like she gets to work at like 4. So she texted me and was like, "Damn, like you couldn't tell me y'all was doing Cadillac Records?" Like, and I'm like, "What?" Like I knew she tripping. I'm like, "Ain't no way y'all them niggas did Cadillac Records and they told me." Like, so I went and looked and I seen it was brand new because I had looked, bro. One of the first things I did when I came home, and I did it periodically in rehab because they let us use the TV and shit, and I would tell people about the pod and all that. So I seen a couple apps, but I didn't really look at everything. But you know, once you get home, I sat down and got my breath and everything and checked it. So I'm like, damn, did I miss one? Like, maybe this was old. And I seen like it just today, like 2 hours ago. I'm like, the fuck? Like, and a little context with that, I would like to say that, and this is nothing, this isn't Rich's fault. This is my fault. One of the things that Rich was doing that did not help me, I don't want to say he was given too much grace, but there was a point where he allowed me to believe that we were better than what we were, which allowed me to move slower with the amends and work harder towards other things. Because I'm like, well, shit, we seem to be a little bit better than I thought we would be. So shit, I'm gonna put more time and energy over here, you know. And if I would have known that I needed to work a little bit harder over, putting some energy into my brother, then absolutely. But I just didn't know, because when I'm seeing my dog, he like, yo, you look good, you healthy, da da da.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't know either.
Yeah,
and fairness, I didn't know.
Yeah, and then when all this went over, there was a time we were in my garage space area, and he kept asking me about amends, and I'm like, once everything blew over and we got into it, I was like, damn, there it is. Like he was asking me without asking me, and he might not even have peeped it, but he was asking me about amends. Like it was just random as fuck. Like, so when do you do that? Like he just was asking, like, so how does that go about? When do you do it? Da-da-da-da. It was like he was telling me without telling me, like, I think it's time for us to talk about something. You know what I mean? And he might not even have known he was doing it. You know what I mean? But I missed it. I was just sitting there like an idiot, like, yeah, you do it this step and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Not realizing, like, nigga, I need some amends here. Like, he was reaching for me, and I didn't see it. So,
but I want to pinpoint something.
Yeah,
because I'm sure that a lot of our listeners, whether it be this situation or other situations that they deal with their friends and have conversations, which is what we do at Another Week in the Books. I want to pinpoint going back to you sending Rich that text though, because that kind of it's a 2-part question, in the sense of what were you feeling when you sent him that text? And two, how do you think that you were being perceived once you got out by the people that fucked with you? Do you think that they were walking on eggshells? Do you think that they were like giving you too much grace, like Rich said? Like, could you feel people acting differently around you? But before you answer that, I want to know, because I ain't gonna lie, I got a personality like Rich. That would have sent me over the edge too. Like being that audacious for someone who has who has been through different things, and I'm letting them figure it out, and I'm still trying to hold this down over here. But you coming at me like I did you wrong in some sort of way because we did this without you. I would have been seeing Reed. So I could imagine how Rich
it's funny real quick before you go, School. It's only funny because after we had our moment and we talked through it like the next day and stuff, I told him, I said, listen, bro, if you would have hit me on some, good morning, like what's going on, I'd have loved to be on it. I would have taken that message completely different.
It's fine.
The message was like, fuck y'all niggas for excluding me from this, pretty much.
That's
how I took it. That's not what he meant. That's how I took it. And to wake up to it and all that, it just really set me off.
I probably would have been sweating, bro. Like that. That's how hot I would have been about that.
I was hot.
So I want to know in your position, what made you think sending this text was the best move?
Again, I don't want people to think that like I sent this message and I was trying to start anything or be rude. The intent of me sending
not even that, just your feelings. Like we get the context of, we know you didn't mean anything bad, but what were you feeling in that moment? Because I'm sure a lot of niggas can take from this because they feel like they being wronged in moments, but actually they on the other side of it, and you the person that's doing the wrong. So like when you seen that your sister call you, I think that was part of the trigger. I think that was part of it. Your sister hitting you up and being like, damn, y'all did this and you ain't let me know. And you like, wait, what? I know these niggas didn't do my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies, and I wasn't there. So I'm sure that drove the text message. So I'm asking you, when you got that call from her, you see it as brand new, and you start typing Rich, like what's that? What is that feeling that you had?
Shout out to Lil Sus. She it's funny because I was like, what? Like, and she was like, I'll never forget it. She was like, oh no, I didn't mean to cause nothing. Like, and I'm thinking it's too late. I really just, like Rich said, I wasn't a part of much. I felt like I was on the island, in a sense, anyway. And I felt like that was just it. Like, this is kind of like the nail in the coffin. Like, nigga, let me show you we really don't give a fuck, nigga. Like, and that's just how I felt. And when I sent the message, I considered everything. No,
you were emotional,
but I had definitely considered a lot of it. And I just, emotions. I wanted my nigga to know how I felt, but I didn't expect him to be like, oh shit, let me take it down. We gonna re-record. Like, I didn't expect any of that. And honestly, I don't know what I expected. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm being
not even your expectations though, what were your feelings? Did you feel left out? I hate to be like,
for sure. I felt left out.
I want to know,
because I had already been left out in a sense, and it's
that
not
was for your betterment though, right? Like you get yourself together. So you understood why he was giving you that much grace, because you got stuff going on that's more important than this podcast.
Yes.
So,
but I also was receiving calls on certain things. You know what I'm saying? So it made me feel like it was kind of intentional, because it's like,
there we go. That's what I was.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because
you thought he did that on purpose. I'm gonna do Cadillac Records while Skool on the sideline over here, just to let this nigga know what he missed. That's what you thought.
A little bit, and
that makes sense.
I thought we were at a different place.
That makes sense.
So that's another reason why I was confused. I'm like, damn, I thought we was good. Why you do me like this? Like,
I got you now. It's any movie you could have did. All these movies out here that y'all could review, but you want to review one of my favorite movies when I ain't available. That's why you sent the text.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes sense to you, Rich?
Yeah, 100%. Like I get why he was upset, but I didn't give a fuck because I didn't. No, seriously, I didn't give a fuck because I didn't know. I think the biggest thing, and this is one of the things I would love for people to take away from this, if you're on this side of it, is you really have to take a breath and make sure you understand why you feel the way you feel, and if you do have any feelings that haven't been addressed, because as I said earlier, it wasn't until that moment when me and him were having it out that I realized how angry I was. And it's different if you're just an angry person and you walk around with that emotion. But for me, who doesn't, to have it just kind of spew out all at once, I realized like, oh shit, I needed to get this out. And to Skool's point earlier, we never had that amends conversation. And I remember the time we was in that the office space or the back room in the garage, storage, whatever you want to call that little house.
Yeah.
But house in your backyard, a little room in your backyard, shit. It's not a shed. Yeah, it's not a shed. So Skool's crib, and then you got the backyard, and there's like a shed, and then there's an actual. You could turn it into an office. We used to record there from time to time, stuff like that. So we were in there, and yeah, that's when I started. I was ready to have it, but I didn't want to. I knew it was going to come at some point. Just from talking to Skool, I knew like amends were going to come. I knew he is very clear about, the first person I want to take care of is my wife.
Yeah,
I knew I was on the list, so there was never a rush for me to have that conversation until it was needed to be had.
Yeah,
which was that moment. You know what I mean? So when we pick movies, I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it like all this kind of like records of school shit. Like let's skip it. It was like nah, because I think it was during June. I think it was September. I think it was during Black Music Month. Yeah, so that was June. So that's when we did it.
You did it. It wasn't
we did it for Black
There
Music
was no
Month.
malice on your end. Like you,
absolutely.
I didn't even pick it. Not even setting up. Obviously, Rachel didn't know. Like we just Rachel.
And it never crossed your mind to be like, let's wait till school get back active to do
this. Because I didn't know. Because I think part of what I was thinking too was how much grace am I going to like? This wasn't the first time. I ain't
skipping no movie or opportunity because he doing this. I got to keep the show rolling.
If this was the first time, I think I would have handled it differently. So this is first time coming in, going to rehab and going back. But you got to like Skool had gotten to a point. It had gotten to a point where he'd go to rehab and miss some episodes. Like there was a lot of stuff that happened like way before anybody knew about anything as to why certain things. Shit, we got y'all television podcasts exist because of me and Skool having a disagreement, and not doing something that we planned on doing. Yep. And that happened many a times. And now it makes sense because he was using it. So a lot of those conversations that I was confused by started to make sense. But no, it didn't cross my mind like, oh yeah, well, Skool wants to do this. It was like, nah. The only time that it did cross my mind was we did Get On Up. And that was the one time I was like, damn, maybe I should hit up Skool. And I can't remember. Skool, you might have been in rehab.
What I Get On Up?
James Brown.
Chadwick Boseman.
Damn, I ain't.
I think that was the only time when that kind of happened.
And you like him, Skool?
Well, he a music dude. Skool a music dude. So like Michael Jackson is big. Like, so there's some things I wouldn't violate, right? I wouldn't just say like, let's go ahead and do a American Dream, right? Skool would have lost. Skool might not still be speaking to me if we did that without him. So I understood certain things in that aspect, but
Skool, talk more to how you felt like people were receiving you after your third stint of rehab. Your kids, your wife. I mean, anything that you want to touch on, not too personal. Your kids, your wife, Rich, your friends, other friends. Like, how do you? Like, what was going on in your head when you were telling them things and you knew you had lied to them before? You knew you had did these different things to let them down before. Like, did you feel like you had to be over performative? Did you feel like you had to go up and beyond your words to show people that you really meant business? Like, what were you feeling as you were having interactions with people who you loved that knew this was the third time, and now you out, and now you claim you changed, but they had to see it?
Man, that's a great question. I think the toughest
I
the
found the
toughest
text message too. Go
Hmm?
ahead, Stu.
the
I
toughest
found the original text message.
the toughest two would easily have to be Rich and my wife. Because
Not Mom Dukes, not your kids.
you know a mom,
Your
bro.
kids, yeah, your mom gonna want to believe, and then your kids look at you like Superman. Okay,
Well,
that makes
it
sense.
ain't even necessarily about the wanting to believe it. It's more about a mother's love. She gonna forgive you. She's
Facts. You're
going
right. You're
to
right.
just support you. I mean, at the
So,
end of the day, I don't care how, I got one of the toughest mamas in the world, but I've never seen her so soft. Like she's definitely in this
that's fire.
situation
That's
been
fire.
very soft.
So Rich was number 2 on the list.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because my daughter's too young. She didn't, she
She
thought
didn't know
dad
what was
was
going
sick.
on.
He was
Right.
just in the hospital, whatever.
Right.
I'm still working on my stepdaughter. That's
How old is she?
that's a battle. She'll be 19 here in a minute.
Oh yeah, so she's fully aware.
Yeah. So there's that, yeah, it's definitely Rich in the wife.
Okay, so
And
what are you thinking that they're thinking about you? Like, is that bothering you on a day-to-day basis? Is that something that's heavy on your mind? Or are you more focused on staying sober? Like, what on a day-to-day basis, being in that position, what's your thought process on this is how I need to present myself so people will believe this time that I'm for real?
for sure, I don't think it was necessarily like me. There was nothing that there was no thoughts of using. The only thoughts that really I was having was what you said, like, how can I, and I think that's just speaks to being an addict in a sense, like, how can I speed this up? That's just my personality, bro. Like, I don't dwell on things. I want things fixed right away. I want to get over shit quick. Like, we have our beef, cool. If we cool, like we say,
I'm the
I'm over
same.
that
I know
shit. Like,
I know what you mean. I'm the
and
same way.
and I handle a lot of things that are serious. Well, I used to handle a lot of serious things that way. Like shit that probably could have used a conversation.
Facts.
I'd just be like, yeah, we good, bro. Like, and it is what it is, and you probably ain't gonna hear nothing else about it. So, I you can't expect that from everyone, and you can't expect it from something so serious. And when you've lied so many times, think like I said earlier, Kyron only knows about the 3 stints. You feel me? Like my wife knows about 8 years ago and on a random Tuesday in March when I was like so fucked up that I'm done with this shit. I'm sick of this shit, and I stopped for a day, maybe 2, and then my back started hurting and I'm right back at the dope man house, like, and I don't think she's disappointed, but she is. You know what I mean? She's like, damn, I thought he was over this shit. Like it sounded good. So she's over it, bro. Like, and I told it's funny. Me and my mom were talking yesterday, and we was just talking about certain things, and she said, and I told her, I said, my wife was done with me. Like Mallory was done with me. She said, I know, because you was at my damn house.
That's
Like
funny.
I was at my mom's. Like
That's funny.
my wife kicked me out. So
I get that, but how did you feel though? Like on a day to day, like did you feel like you had to overly perform for people?
no, not really. And I
You
think,
just feel like
and
you
I'll
had to
say this: what helped with that was the boundaries and the things that my wife set up. Like I said, I had to pee in the cup. Like I knew that
and you
that
was
spoke
cool with that
volumes.
because you wanted to keep your wife.
Yeah, that spoke
Okay.
volumes. I knew that I didn't have a key to my house. Like that's
Oh
okay. Like,
shit.
and that's because let's say I do relapse or she finds some dope in here and I got some dope. That's so she can kick me the fuck out and there's no way I can get back in my house. Like, you know what I mean? Like I signed something saying like if you find dope in the house, I will leave immediately. Like all that shit. Like um it it made me just want to speed time up more than anything.
You wanted people to get back to knowing you for the school that they loved you for, not judging you off your previous 3 stints in rehab.
Yeah, but I don't feel anyone. I don't want to say anyone necessarily judged me. Even with Rich, I feel like his judgment was more of the business side. Rich, like, nigga, we got some shit we doing over here. Like, it'd be different if, we just shooting the shit every day. Like, nigga, we got business to attend to. Like, I got
the first time.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the first time any of this ever came to I never once to school. Are you tripping? You doing like, bro? What can I do to help? Yep. There was never any judgment. There was never anything. Like, it was more so, all right, then this is where we are. What we gotta do to get you right. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I found the original message it was June 12th of this year, and that's really what changed me in school. It's like kind of put us where we are now.
Now,
and like I said, I'll take ownership. Go ahead.
This is hilarious. That's the day I came home, June 12th.
You came out a year before, though. A year
That's
prior.
what I'm saying. Like, it's funny that
so
a year later,
get to the
phone call comes the text message.
And it's fascinating. I'm gonna read a couple things because it's fascinating how things. Because I really just want to talk about how things progressed in one day's time. And I think what really bothered me is, now that I'm remembering it correctly, school texted me at 6:59 in the morning and said, "My nigga." I just said my nigga, and I'm like, "What's good morning, bro? What's the word?" Just thinking it's normal. And then he was like, "Man, I love you, but damn, you got me feeling some type of way. I mentioned doing Cadillac Records, and y'all did it without me. Am I fired? When can I be on again?" And I was like, "Man, you ain't said nothing to me about recording. Like, that's not something." Because sometimes school would, like, as he was taking that break, he might say, "Hey, man, I'm trying to record something." I'm like, "I bet." And we'll try to figure out a movie that will work. And I'm like, "Man, it wasn't a slight. I wasn't trying to leave you out. I was just trying to keep things rolling." And I'm like, in all fairness, bro, like, we've been holding it down for a year, like, without you. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't, you had to get things together. I think it's a little unfair for you to feel away when there's been so much uncertainty in the air. And I said, I apologize, but I hope you can see things from my point of view. And I told him, and this is probably another thing that bothered me, I told him we can rap about it on the phone and talk about it ASAP. Like, I've learned enough in life, like, text messages, they get too tricky, right? We can talk about this on the phone and put this all to bed. And he sent me. Now, context. This goes back to, I told you, big bro, little bro. I'm used to saying something like that and being able to get, all right, cool. School was like, nah, bro, like, I love you with all my heart, and I appreciate y'all holding it down, but, like, I was being included, kind of what he said earlier. Like, I feel like this was on purpose at this point. And we kind of went back and forth. And I was like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. And he told me, he said, I only want to talk about it on the phone because I'm working off of emotions right now, and I don't want to say anything messed up. Like, so being upfront with me, like, bro, I'm not even ready to talk about this on the phone because I'm really feel away. And I was like, all right, then, well, let me know when you want to talk. I'll make sure I'm available. And I told him I wasn't trying to upset you and things like that. And a couple hours passed. Yep. Once I'm up and once I'm moving, it dawned on me, like, hold up, let me send this nigga a voice note, because now I'm getting a chance to really process what was said. And that's when it came out. And I'm like, hey, man, good morning. I just want to send you this note. I'm like, a couple things I just want you to address. That's when the real things start coming out, which means it had nothing to do with the podcast. That's when it started being about, like, bro, I did this for you. I've never thrown it in your face. I've never been on your neck about, what about this? What about that? You owe down for that. Like, it was never that. So I felt, in my point of view, like, I gave you a lot of grace. So for you to come at me about a movie and a podcast record is nuts. And it's funny that you notice this, but you're not noticing any of the other things that we're doing. Like, there's some accomplishments that we got going on. Like, we Black Real Awards, right? We're voters for the Black Real Awards. We're on the voting academy, like, which is a huge deal for us, right? That happened when School was, like, he wasn't actively recording with us, but I made sure when those were submitted, School was involved because School's still part of Culture Garden. And it was like, man, you mentioning all this. I think we had just did a panel for TSF Entertainment, and they got like 17,000 YouTube followers or subscribers. And we were talking about Raising Canaan, and we was just doing big stuff. And part of me was like, damn, bro, like, why you pointing this out, but you ain't giving no congrats or no nothing when anything else going on? And I told him, like, man, I think we're ready for that immense song. I sent it in one of the votes. Like, whenever you're ready to talk about it, we need to go through all of it. And that's what I said. I didn't know I was that angry. So it's all coming out. And We going back and forth. I mean, Skool sending me a 9-minute voice note, 7-minute voice note. I'm sending 5-minute voice notes. We don't even do that, bro. We don't even do that. Yeah. So that's how you know we was really into it. Because Skool would not, he didn't want to get on the phone. And he was getting upset because he thought I was disrespecting one of his boundaries. And I was like, man, I'm not trying to do that. And the whole nine. And it wasn't until the next day. I think that's the most important time because we talked through it and it's at a better space. And I told him like that next morning, like, good morning, like I love you. I want to apologize to you. Like, you know what I mean? I want to apologize for lashing out. It's a lot that we need to work on. I didn't even know that I had a lot of this stuff in me until I was triggered. Like I told him that directly. I could have definitely handled some things better. I think we both can. We're going to get there. It's just a process. And it is what it is. But I love you. I kept telling him, I love you. Don't carry this with you. It's something that, we'll get through once the time comes. We have a chance to discuss everything. We have a chance to be honest. We have a chance to lay all the cards on the table and then talk about how we want to move forward. But I did let him know I appreciate him. I know you just wanted to express your feelings. I know the intent of your message was just to tell me how you felt about being excluded from this episode. And I lost track of that because I'd never properly expressed my true feelings towards the whole situation until that moment. And I told him my reaction wasn't the best. And even if it was, I got it in my own mind, or I learned that I can approach things differently. And at the end of the day, this is just communication. I want to keep that pure, getting through all the other stuff, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you for genuinely wanting to make sure this is good. Because that's one thing. The way I was talking to Skool that day, Skool could have easily been, man, fuck you, bro. Like, I was talking to Skool. I don't want to say greasy. I wasn't disrespecting him, but there was a lot of anger, like I said. He could have easily said that, but he continuously was like, bro, I want to do that. I want to fix this. I want to do X, Y, and Z. And he let me have that time to get that anger off. And then that very next morning, before he said anything, I was the first one sending him a voice note. Good morning. I apologize. We're going to get there. We're going to talk. We got to talk it out. I love you. I hope you have a great day. And that was the big moment because it was like, all right, we just went through this biggest argument we had probably ever had in our life in the very next less than 24 hours. We both realized, like, all right, man, we gotta get right. And that's when everything changed, I think.
I want to tell my side of that. What really helped me on that was, so when we were going back and forth, and one of the things that we're taught in recovery is like help. Like it's okay to reach out to your accountability partners, and I consider Rich an accountability partner, but if I'm getting into it with the nigga, I can't ask him. I called my sponsor. He didn't answer. And my wife has been in the program way longer than I have. So I went to my wife. She was at her desk in her office, and I'll never forget it. I said, yo, me and Rich just got into it. She said, what happened? I explained. She said, now listen, are you venting or do you want to know what I think? And I said, I want to know what you think. And that's still the young addict in me, the you better say, you know what I'm saying? You bitch, you better say what you feel. You
my wife. My wife. Yeah.
So she read it. Every part of it, bro. She looked at me and she said, do you want the truth? And I said, yeah. And she started speaking, bro, and I just started bawling because I already knew what she was going to say. She said, he's not wrong, babe. Like, think of it from his point of view. And she just laid it out. Like, I mean, bro, I bawled my eyes out because I'm like, damn, I've been letting my nigga down like that. Like, and that's a hell of a feeling, bro. Like, and it made me, I think Rich just said, like, bro, I kept voice noting, like, bro, I get it. Like, I understand that I fucked up. Like, I don't want to lose my brother. Like, no matter what. And, he's telling me, like, no matter what, you ain't never gonna lose. It's shit was getting sticky there, brother. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there was definitely a moment when I didn't know if me and Skool's relationship was ever going to be the same. So like, it was never consideration that we're not going to be cool, but I didn't know if we was ever going to be like best friends. Like I thought it might have just been on some past and shit or just checking in, not the relationship that we've been used to.
Yep. Because of how y'all were exchanging messages.
No. Just
Oh.
because of where we were in life, like there was so
Yes.
much, like I said, I didn't understand about what he was going through.
Mhm.
And I felt that there was a moment where I just outgrew school. I just
Yep.
felt like I might be in a different stratosphere as far as mentally, the things that I care about. I don't know if school's like at this level. And
Yeah.
like I said, the whole reason, and he didn't even know. I just texted school and said, "Bro, I want you on because I see it now. I see it.
Yeah.
I see the work that you put in. I see the type of man that you've been in this past 16 months, bro. And I'm amazed and I'm proud of you because I did not think that you were able to get here, especially at this rate, because there was so much that you had to clean up. Like there was such a mess that school left in different areas with different people that it was a lot to clean up, man. It was like it's like one of those, if you ever work retail and they say, man, y'all gotta get all this shit straight before anybody leaving.
Yep.
And we supposed to be off at 9, we ain't leaving till 1 a.m.
Yep.
because we got so much shit to clean up. It was one of those moments. And like I said, I knew me and school was always going to be good. I didn't know at what level we were going to get back to. And it wasn't until he started putting in this work and like really showing everybody, not words, just showing. I'm like, oh, school's different. Like he's really a changed person. Like, and one of the biggest things that I had to remind myself was like, I have to give school some grace because school doesn't even know who he is right now. He spent so many years like
all my adult
addicted.
life.
Yeah, his whole adult life addicted and putting on the front for people, like never being able to fully show people. Like I said, I never knew until that rehab sent other people did, his wife, moms, all that stuff, but I didn't. So he did a good job of putting that on. So that's when I realized, like, yo, school is really trying to figure out who he is. Like, if he don't know who he is, how am I supposed to know who he is? So let me walk with him on this journey and go from there. And seeing the man that he's like become and the work that he's put in and the help that he's giving back, I'm like, oh shit, we back, we there. And you know, so much of our relationship, well, not so much of it, but a lot of times when we link up, we on the game, we rolling up, you know what I'm saying? We smoking a joint. Like when all that stuff going, I think it took both of us a little while to kind of navigate. Oh shit, how do we navigate this space? Like how do we, you know what I mean, come here and just chill or just watch a movie? If I'm watching a movie, I'm used to rolling up. I ain't gonna do that in front of school, like blah blah blah. And I think I think you felt that school a little bit, and I was like, oh shit, like damn, are we dependent? Are we one of them people we ain't cool unless we smoking or drinking or doing some shit like that? And it took some time, man. So but realizing that school's identifying who he is, and me understanding that helped out a ton.
And let me speak to this too. I want to say for anyone who's listening that is dealing with someone who is an addict, one thing you have to realize, and I probably said it on both episodes, bro, an addict is selfish as fuck. Like it's all about me. Period. Point blank. That's it. Like and that's something that I still deal with those that sometimes, like, you know, and Rich, you know, pointed those things out to me. Like, bro, when the last time you just called me and been like, yo, what's up, bro? Like, you know, when the last time you asked how my mental health is? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, again, last time you just sent me $20. Like stuff like that. Like that shit matters. That shit can change someone's day. And it's always, especially in addiction, it's always about us. Like, yo, you got 20 I can borrow. Yo, you know, my check don't come in to tomorrow, but I'll pay you back. Like it's always something. You know, when you see certain numbers on your phone, you already know what it is. And at some point I felt like I was that person to a lot of people. So if you're dealing with someone that's an addict, don't forget they're selfish. And they're going to need grace. It's especially, you know, coming into recovery. Like, you know, I still have selfish tendencies. You know, I'm still learning how to, you know, shoot niggas texts and be like, what's good, bro? Just checking in. Like, I'm still learning. I'm still growing. Like, it's tough, but you know, it can be done.
During that exchange with Rich, did it cross your mind, or did you realize that you're probably one of the few people that he would have did that with? Because and I'll give context before you answer. I'm thinking if I had received that, there's only, I don't even know. There may be one person in the world who'd I'd entertain that conversation with. And like legit try to get down to the bottom of there's a deeper issue at hand here.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and I think Rich has a similar personality as me, a lot of people that would have sent me that text, it ain't even making it to I'm sending you 6 or 7 minute voice notes. It's gonna get deaded some point in the text message in that first 2 to 3 responses as to where my thought process can be like, man, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, to be honest with you, I don't care, my nigga.
Yeah.
Like you probably would have gave a thumbs up.
Yeah, like it wouldn't even been that. You would have just been left on red. Like it would have been that. And I wouldn't have felt no type of way about it just because I won't say have time because that ain't the right word, but there are very few people that I value that much to really dive deep into what's really going on here. As you were having that exchange with him, did you think that at least he's considering what I'm saying and that's a plus? Or was it, I'm just trying to get my shit off and make you understand how I'm feeling about this?
No, no, I say no, it definitely wasn't. I was trying to get my shit off because I don't feel like I was argumentative. I tried to be as calm, and that's one of the reasons why I kept telling him.
Once you start sending 5-minute voice notes, it's argumentative.
Nah, well, to his point, it really wasn't. I think that kind of upset me a little bit because he kept pushing me. I had stuff to say, and goes back to what he said. I was ready for that talk when I wasn't aware, and I had stuff to say. He kept pushing it off, so it wasn't. And it was a little bit more. One of the highlights of that conversation was Skool was really focused on making sure I understood his point of view,
which was.
Everything. Well, it's a lot because, like I said, I started getting into more things. It wasn't just about the pod anymore. It was about everything that transpired. So it all kind of started spilling out, and like even the whole like, hey, bro, I want to talk to you about this at a different time. I don't want to talk off emotions, and you know, you're he told me at one point that I'm not respecting his boundaries because he told me that he didn't want to talk and all types of stuff. So it was a lot of just I'm not going to appease to you. It's just going to be like whatever, nigga. Like. And this is what it is.
And listen, I'll say this now. I didn't care how he felt in the sense of you my brother. Like, no, if he would have told me, bro, I don't ever want to speak to you again, like I would have still text him every day with a voice note, something like, bro, I love you. I just want you to know I love you. I'm thinking of you, bro. Like, I hope we can get past this. Like, that's it. Like, I can't make him change how he feels, but I damn sure can try my hardest to let him know that on this side, you good. Like, whenever you feeling ready, I'm over here. So, but I definitely wanted him to know, like, I don't mean any malice in these words. Like, and that's another reason why I did voice notes too, is because the way I'm talking now, you can tell I'm thinking as I speak. I'm not just like, nigga, who the fuck you think? Like that, you don't really have time to think. You just speaking. Like I was like, bro.
I was more turned up.
Yeah, he was turned up.
He was thoughtful. I was turned.
And that nigga said, you talking to me like what you say? You said nigga said, I really think you starting to play with me. Or something you said. I'm like,
I told him, I did. I told Skool, I said, hey, bro, I think you trying to play me. Like, I think you are. I something along the lines. I don't know how serious you take me at this point. Like, or something along that line, because of the way this is even going about. Like, you gotta be trolling me right now.
Yeah.
Not understanding how upset I was, but once again, I didn't understand where Skool was coming from, and that
was that
in itself shows growth. Was
that ego again?
100%. All of it was ego, bro. It was ego, and it's interesting because you can't force. Me and Skool have had conversations about amends and what that means, So I knew I couldn't force him to have that conversation. He had to be ready for it. That was the moment. That was probably the most forceful and the most I played his hand. As far as like, this has to be done. Like, and once again, this is me realizing in real time, like, I need this talk. I need us to put all this shit on the table, because one thing about me, once it's discussed, it's over. I'm not one of them, remember what you did this time or 5 years ago type of person. That's just not me. Once we discuss it and we come with a resolution, it's dead to me. That's the only way I'm able to move forward with things. That's just always been my personality. So it wasn't right away, but school realized, and we both came to the conclusion, we have to have this talk. Let's do it next time you're home and stuff like that. So I knew coming home the next time that me and him were going to be able to have a conversation. And I think that's the one we had at your driveway. We were actually going to go get some food, but the place we were going to go was closed.
Yep.
So we just had it in the car. But yeah, it was definitely ego, and it was just pain, some pain, just feeling. Yeah, ego, because I felt like I was owed something. And now looking back at it, it's like, nah, bro. I just wanted to make sure that I was heard, and I understand, because you can't be that hurt unless you love someone that much.
Absolutely.
Because like you said, Spike, there's only most people like, bro, what you fuck out of here, bro? Like, what are you talking about? They can't even get to me. They can't even get to me in that way emotionally to even get that reaction out of me. It's like, all right, man. And Skool done see it firsthand. Like, nigga, so many people I just like. Skool will joke to me and say, man, I feel privileged that you answer my messages. Because he knows how many people don't get a response from me.
Yep.
Not privileged in a real way. Skool, he says it jokingly, but he also knows that I'm not like, there's only a handful of people I respond to.
And honestly, that was one of those signs too that I knew that we were falling off a little bit, like messages going unread, you know what I mean? Messages going read, no write back, messages not even being read. That's not, bro. There was, I would say, a decade straight, me and this nigga talked every day. Like, and I don't mean like, what's up, good morning. Like, I'm talking about full blown combos every fucking day. And the past 2 years is probably what killed that streak.
What do y'all feel like y'all relationship is at now?
You want to answer? Or...
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful, because I can't understand. I can't imagine anything else we could go through that would be worse than that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know Skool's character. He's not a grimy, foul person. So I don't have to worry about anything that will be like unforgivable. That's probably the roughest it'll ever be. And the power of communication, being able to sit down, put it all on the table, and understand, man, a lesson I learned a long time ago that's always kept with me is so simple, but it takes two people to have a conversation.
Facts.
And there's been moments where Skool wasn't ready to have the conversation. There's been moments where I wasn't ready to have the conversation. So the fact that we were both ready to have it and we had it, it's elevated things since. Because now, going back to what I said earlier, now that we had that talk, I can move on. Like, everything that I had an issue with, we can move on. Like, we can go ahead and move forward. And not only that, I think a big part of the help is that Skool's actually putting the work in. And I've seen it. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I've seen the way he is at home now. Like, there's been times where I had to go over Skool's, and it's like walking on eggshells. You can tell there's some beef in the house. You can tell him and the wife might be going through it because, like I said, I might not know it's because of the addiction at that time. But now looking back, I know that's what it's about.
Absolutely.
And there's certain things that go on, but now it's the mood is lighter, the energy is better, the conversations are more intentional, even the productivity, man. Like, I will always look at Skool. You know what? Here's what I'll say.
Ain't nothing worse than going to your homie house and him and his girl beefing.
Hey, bro, ain't nothing worse than that.
And he like, come watch the game.
Skool finally the person I thought he was. He's finally turned into that guy that I always thought he was and could be. And for one reason or another, never made it there to that full potential. And now he's there. Like, now I'm proud of Skool. Like, genuinely. Not proud of him because he's my brother. I'm proud of him just because of the man he is and the person he's been turning into and the work. Like I said, like, just a lot of, I've seen it to when he came home and asking him. He talked about like having a pee in a cup, and I remember asking him, like, bro, how you doing? How everything at home? He was like, man, I just feel like things ain't moving fast enough. This might be a month into it, like just not moving fast. I'm like, what you mean? He's like, man, I just felt like, I don't know, like I'm putting it, I'm trying to do better, and I'm trying to put this work in, and I feel like it's not being acknowledged. Like I still have so much to do, and you can kind of, I knew at that moment, like he really cares about this and he wants it to work. And it's going to take some time. And I think that's probably what I told him. And now, 15 months after that, all right, then we here, we there now. So it's like I'm extremely proud, like I said, of who he is, and then the fact that we've been able to take everything, and I've seen him apply things that he's learned from study and learn from therapy and learn from group, because the way we can communicate, the way he can express himself, all of that has been like a complete 180. It's probably been the strongest because as you get older, you don't have necessarily the capacity to be on the phone every day, all day, especially when you got families and stuff. So it ain't like it was when we was in our 20s. But yeah, now I feel like there's nothing. We're getting back to the random phone calls where it's not about recording, it's not about this. It's like talking shit and just having fun and getting some laughs and or keeping each other updated on family business and all types of stuff. Like I can just randomly call School the other day. I made a joke. I'm like, hey, bro, I can't even get my brother on the phone because like School busy. Like he busy with shit. I'm busy with shit. But it's we try. Like I can see him miss call, and one of the things that was very eye opening for me before I passed this off to school, there was a moment after this whole men's talk that I was scared that I wasn't going to meet School where he was in regards to rebuilding the relationship. I felt like he was putting in a lot more effort. He was the one reaching out a lot. He was the one checking in a lot. And they'd be like, damn, bro, like almost overwhelmed with everything else. I ain't going to say what you want, but like, what's up? And I didn't say this to him, but I'm thinking like, bro, you reaching out to me every single day. And I thought about like, oh, like School is he's extending that hand. Like, bro, here I am. I told you I'm putting in the work. Here I am doing it. And I literally started praying every single day that I was able to put in the same effort that School was to get us back. And I saw whenever you see somebody really doing that and really like showing up, even if it takes you a little bit longer to catch on, it's like, all right, then he held it down while I was dragging my feet. And now here we are. So all of those things put together, it's actions. It has nothing to do with words. It's all actions, man. And that's why, like I said, I wanted them on here because like I finally feel like everything's good. Like there for a moment, as I said earlier, where I was like, man, I don't know if me and School ever gonna be back to what we was. Like now that's not even a thought anymore. Like that's 100% my guy. And I'm just proud of him and everything that he's doing. I love hearing about the stuff that he's into, the way he's helping other people. Getting to experience certain things. I know they took a family vacation this year. And just not only that, I love hearing other people's testaments. Like people who have known School for a long time that are now seeing the same thing I see. Like, oh, you're really putting in this work. Like, not to tell your business too much, but you shared something with me about your marriage counselor and giving you a compliment in the sense of like, hey, man, this man is putting in he's putting in work that I haven't seen anybody put in. Maybe he's a very rare person when it comes to that. He talked about his stepfather, or not stepfather, excuse me, a father-in-law. Kind of like maybe I think for the first time gave you a hug, like when y'all left family vacation and stuff. So other people are seeing. I think his mother-in-law reached out or pulled you to the side and was like, hey, man, like, I'm proud of you. Like, I'm really, because we all see it. If you were around him enough, you see, like, oh, this man not just talking it, he's putting in the work, and it's not a facade. It's not some, oh, look at me, look how great I am. It's like, nah, bro, like School carried that pain. He carried all of it. He took it all on his shoulders. And he could have either said, man, fuck this. I'm going to keep doing what I know, or I'm going to learn from it, I'm going to grow from it, and I'm going to be the best version of myself. And he took that route. And it's a beautiful thing to have a front row seat to. And that's all I got to say about it, man. I'm amazed. I'm amazed at how well he took this. That was a very long-winded answer, School. Like, how do you feel the relationship is?
First off, I appreciate all of that. It definitely means a lot to me. I feel our relationship is better than it's ever been. It's funny. Every time I say relationship, I think about Martin.
Relationship.
Relationship.
Shout out to Stan.
But yeah, I think we're at a very, very great place. It's amazing when you have someone like you, Rich, because you could have easily walked away. There was moments, and again, I'll say it, like, where you was just like, I don't know if we gonna be like where we were. Like, you just straight up said that to me, and I'm like, you my brother, like, what? Like, and that broke my heart, where I'm like, oh hell no, I gotta put this work in, because it's my nigga. Like, I ain't going. Like, if we don't reconnect, it's gonna be because of him. It ain't gonna be because of me. Because it's my dog.
And that's he was true about that, because that's when I realized that myself. Like, damn, this nigga putting in work. So let me pick up my shit and make sure I extend the same grace.
Yeah,
and the same effort.
It's crazy, like you said, Rich. Like, a lot of people can see it again, bro. Like, I'm texting my father-in-law on a daily basis because he likes Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and he done got me hip, and that shit is good as fuck. Like, we text every day about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, people are talking to me that on my wife's side of the family that never really, and they ain't bad people or nothing. I didn't go to shit. Y'all got dope over there? Nah, I won't be there. Like, that's just it. It is what it is. Shit. So now I'm at a different mindset. And again, when you have someone like Rich, you don't just let them walk out your life, especially when you're the guilty one, when you've done the wrong. And I think that's where a lot of people mess up, is they just, I tried. Like, nah, nigga, try for real. Put some fucking effort in. And that was my mindset. Like, I did a lot of work with the wife. Crazy part is I sent Rich the text this morning. She bought me a PS5 today, man. That's my baby. You hear me?
What game you got?
I ain't getting into it. And again, let me say this, because I don't know if she's gonna watch this or not. But even that I felt like was growth, because she got me the PS5 with the 2K package in it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 2K25. See, old Zay, crackhead Zay, would have been like,
this ain't a new one.
This bitch she ain't get the 2K26. I'm grateful, brother. I got 2K25. I'm cool. You feel me? So
that's fire.
For real. Like, and that's real, bro. Listen, that LeBron jersey I got, that ain't the LeBron jersey I wanted. And I was pissed, bro. I went off on that lady. Like, what the fuck? Like, this ain't the LeBron. Bro, this shit's crazy. That's selfish. Like, that's who I used to be. Like, but I'm just, life is good, man. And I don't even know how else to say it, man. And my relationship with my brother is good. I think one of the things that I did do is take him off that pedestal, because I spent a long time putting him on that pedestal. And one of the things that really was tough for me was him telling me all those great things. Rich has always been encouraging to me, always told me, I feel you can do better. Like, he never meant it in a malice way. Like, he just was like, bro, like, that was okay, but shit, you can do better than that. Like, you should be leading Culture Garden sometime, like all that shit. But he doesn't know that I'm a drug addict, and I'm already balancing trying to be a drug addict, trying to be a podcaster, trying to be normal, like all this other shit, like, where I'm just like, I can't do that. Instead of, there's an easy point where I could have just been like, bro, nah, I can't do that. But I'm trying to appease everybody, and it fucked me up. It fucked me up. So,
and I appreciate you, man, for like, that's something we talked about for years, man. I appreciate you for acknowledging my request to, like, hey, man, just, we peers, bro. Like, we right here. And because sometimes it's hard. Like I said, there's things that I would want to tell Skool that would better him, but I might be like, man, I don't want him to take this as me telling you to do this or doing it like this. It's just my 2 cents. And I can appreciate now that School ain't got to listen. And I would be very explicit about it. Like, bro, you ain't got to do this. I'm just telling you, this is my point of view, and this is how I might look at it. And like I said, I had to learn to give School his own wing, or give his own space to kind of trip and fall and do his own things, right? And there's things that I see that I would change, and I'm like, oh, that ain't got shit to do with me. Like, there's like that's School's thing. He's figuring it out, and he's very. One thing I was talking to him about, I said, man, you're very reactive. Like back when he was using this stuff, I'm like, you're very reactive. You're not proactive. Like, there's a lot of stuff you should and could be doing, but you're reactive. You're waiting on somebody to tell you something versus just getting it done. And now I can see that proactiveness, right? Like, he's got Who the Fuck to Ask Y'all. He's putting out these episodes when he says he's gonna put them out. One thing that I don't want to say I was blown away by, but I was very impressed with was he set up his own stuff. Like, I have an account to record and do all these things. Like, School's like, nah, bro, I'm gonna get my own. Like, I'm gonna make sure. So it's not fair to you for me and Mario to be coming up and using your storage space and using this and having you like, we're just gonna get our own and I'm gonna figure it out on my own. I'm like, okay, then this nigga's CEO. Like, he has that mentality now. No, seriously, he has a mentality that I've been wanting him to reach. Because I never wanted him to think that this was just me. Like, I want you to be comfortable with it, and I want Rachel. Like, when Rachel we got y'all, I made sure when we started that, I made sure I expressed, like, this is your podcast. Like, this is your podcast, Rachel. Like, I'm producing, I'm helping you, but you are taking the lead on this. And I always wanted the same for School. I always had the network in mind. Like, I might run Culture Garden, School will have his own thing, Rachel will have her own thing, and kind of do it like that. And School was never, the idea was there, but he never took it all the way until what I've been seeing recently. And it's like, I bet now I'm able to sit on the sideline and just enjoy it, be a fan. So, man, it's such a night and day. If y'all only knew like the ups and downs and the ins and outs, man, I couldn't be more proud of School.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure, man. You already know what it is, man. Love you, man.
Love you too, brother.
That's dope.
Yeah, I think that's it, man. It's kind of what it comes down to. Moral of the story: don't shy away from the difficult conversations. Don't shy away from your emotions. Don't shy away from your feelings, man. If you're able to have the foresight to know that it's time to have a conversation, approach it in the right way. I would not recommend anger being the reason why you haven't. Those are forced conversations. I literally can't take this anymore. We have to wrap. And especially when people call themselves their brothers, man, I think that's one of the biggest things that we all can work on is making sure that I don't want to use the word check, but we hold each other accountable when we see something not going right. When you see you not being the best version of yourself, right? So now I can see Spike where it's just, Spike was doing something. I would hope that Spike would expect to get a message from me to say, hey, man, you're slipping a little bit, man. Tighten up. I would want to get that from Spike. I want to get that from School. I want to get that from Mo, from Phil, from all of my guys, man. Like, just because I don't want to be out here looking crazy on the block, right? I want to make sure. And the thing is, those are the most uncomfortable moments. The niggas don't want to hear that shit sometimes. Like, you just want to do your own thing and be in your own space, but then you realize, all right, then it's time for me to go ahead and get it done. Like, so, shout out to accountability and everything else that goes into that. And hopefully somebody takes that away and has those, like I said, those combos, whenever they need it. So some people might be listening to this and there might be some overdue conversations. Some people that you need to sit down with, and it's been 2-3 years maybe. Please sit down and have that convo, man. Just man to man, no ego, nobody yelling and raising their temper, man. Just trying to get to an understanding, because when the love is there, like, there's really nothing two grown men can't talk about. Because most of it is miscommunication.
I just want to touch base on this real quick, and I've told you this, Rich. For anyone listening, bro, this book is life-changing. It's called Boundaries: When to Say Yes and When to Say No. It is by John Townsend and Henry Cloud. That book will change your fucking life. It teaches boundaries with work, friendship, your wife, your husband, all that, bro. Like, with everything. And it was one of the first things that my wife read where I knew shit was changing in my household. Like, like where I just like where I'm, I come in and I'm like, yo, let me, I'll get you back when I get paid Friday. Let me get 100 to then. That used to be easy. All right. That became no. What? Like just setting boundaries, bro. That simple boundary. Yeah, I flipped the fuck out, but I ain't get that 100. Like, damn, something. Hold on. What the fuck going on around here? Then once she established that, she established more boundaries and more boundaries. And I knew I couldn't shake it. Like, shit getting real. And then, like I said, one day, she came to me and was like, yo, I got a new boundary. If I find dope in my house with my babies in it, you out of here. I'm like, fuck out of here. Because I've heard that before. Fuck out of here. She done found dope before and you ain't did shit. She found dope, bro, and I wouldn't leave. She left and was gone for real. Like, I'm texting her at 9, like, where you at? I don't live there no more. If you there, I ain't there. I'm like, damn. Can't have my daughters going to school from a hotel. Like, what type of sucker shit is that, man? Let me get the fuck out of here. Like, so boundaries, man. It's a great book. It don't necessarily have to all be about the addiction, just anything. Boundaries for a conversation, all that shit, man. It's a great book. So I just wanted to say that.
That's fire. It was dope being a observer of you guys having a conversation about your relationship and where the ups and downs that it's been on. That shit was fire. I think it was a great podcast and great conversation. And just as black men. My observation is I can tell you guys really love each other. And to spread that out to the audience, have conversations with the people that you do. Like, you can't have these type of conversations and be this vulnerable, be this open to people who you feel okay about, or this is my associate. This space not reserved. The space that you have as a person is not reserved for those type of people to have these type of conversations. But it is, if it is someone you love, it is someone you want to continuously to be a part of your life, then be able to, one, be vulnerable enough to share what you feel about them, and two, be accepting enough to understand that the response ain't always gonna be like, we should be able to get into a shouting match as brothers and know it's not gonna be like long-term detrimental to our friendship. Like, that should be able to happen. And I think we shy away from that as black men because we've been taught so much aggression. We've been taught violence. We've been seeing all these things in the news. It's like, if the conversation gets to this level, then somebody's going to get in a fight, or it's going to be, I ain't never talking to this nigga again because he this, that, and the third. But we need room to have those conversations at those emotional levels and still be able to walk away from that and look at it like, now that's my brother still. Yeah, we just got in a drag him down, I don't fuck with you, this, that, and the third argument, but that's still my brother. I ain't gonna disrespect him. I ain't gonna disrespect his family or what he got going on. But me and him gotta have this, as you said, Rich, to a means conversation. And that's the only way that we'll be able to move forward in the sense of being more fruitful to our friendship. So it was beautiful watching you two brothers play that out. Skool, I don't know if you've been listening. I'm going to check out that book. I got another week in the book staple that I would love for you to check out when you get a chance to. It's called A Monk That Sold a Ferrari. I think where you are in your journey, the jewels that you'll pick up from that book will continue for you to excel in what you're trying to do. So whenever you get a chance to read A Monk That Sold a Ferrari, it was suggested to me by Dro. Rich, I think you read it too.
Yeah, I have it.
It's a life-changing book.
Okay.
It's a life-changing book as far as thought process and perspective. I think it would be very well equipped in your toolbox at this point in your life. So when you get a chance to check that out, check that out.
Yes, sir.
But beautiful job by you guys.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for your question, your thoughtful question, getting down to some of the root of things. Asking other questions always been a staple. Skool, love you, man.
Love you too, brother.
You for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Bookworms, of course, man. Bookworms. We appreciate y'all too, man. Hopefully you got something from this. You'll continue to grow. This is chapter 42 of book 2. We'll be back next week. Make sure we get better this week. We out, y'all.
Peace.